This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Sabrina Brown. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the Bahamas Association of Compliance Officers holding its annual conference this morning at the Pelican Bay Resort. The organization remains focused on providing a support mechanism to those who have responsibility for compliance in various institutions. Italia Hall has the story.
The Bahamas Association of Compliance Officers, also known as BACO, hosting the 11th annual Northern Bahamas Conference on Friday morning at the Pelican Bay Resort. The theme, Traversing Industries, Transcending Risk. Attendees listened attentively as the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, brought opening remarks, stating that for the first time since the signing of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, the government will play a more integral role in the facilitation of new and existing developments on Grand Bahama.
With the enactment of the Grand Bahama Investment Incentive Bill and its associated regulations, we will create the new paradigm shift in the city of Freeport. The Grand Bahama Port Authority will still be responsible for granting licenses, but under the new pathway forward, the economic development for the government will be the responsibility of granting concessions. We are confident that this new approach in governance structure in Freeport will prove to be effective, but would also reflect what is happening in the rest of the country.
Dr. Darville shared a video of some of the accomplishments and developments that were made on Grand Bahama under the Ministry of Grand Bahama in the last 4.5 years. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Peter Turnquest, then spoke on economic growth on Grand Bahama.
We have to find ways to attract investment to the destination. The key being that whatever incentives that we give should be rational, should be measurable, should be objective.
Guest speaker of the conference was the Member of Parliament from Marco City, Greg Moss, whose message was how to unleash Grand Bahama's economic potential.
One, we know something is terribly wrong. Two, that something has a lot to do with either corruption or the potential for corruption and the lack of transparency in information and opportunities. And three, we need to get back to the point where we realize that there's nothing wrong with saying that we have to prioritize nationals in terms of investment and investment incentives rather than just foreigners.
Ryan Pinder was also a part of the event, and he says hosting these conferences in the community are beneficial.
I think that it's very important that BACO, Bahamas Association of Compliance Officers, continues their initiative, continues their education of its members on the latest developments.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. A significant Bahamian investment in the tourism sector paying off as travelers from around the world give a local company not only high marks, but their stamp of approval. Joan Davis-Roll has that story.
They say do what you love and you never work a day in your life, and I never envisioned this for myself, but I love it. We meet so many people from all over the world, and it's, you know, each group makes the tour unique, you know, their personalities and stuff, and I love my island, so this is sharing our island, so this is not work at all for me, but but it's just fun being here and sharing the experience with the guests and watching their emotions, and I love it.
It is that philosophy that has turned one of Grand Bahama's newest tour companies into an award-winning entity, affording this local enterprise with an out-of-the-box tourist experience to gain global recognition.
We have had as young as about 10 and as old as about 80, I think he said he was. So we've covered a wide demographic of folks, but it's non-labor intensive. So if you can ride a bicycle, then you can pretty much do this tour, and it allows us to go see more of the island without it being so labor intensive. So some of the guests really love it. The sun is scorching hot, the beautiful Bahamian sun, but at the same time we always get the coastal sea breeze, so it makes it all bearable. I mean, you could do it by a regular bicycle, by a taxi cab, but it just adds another dynamic to some of the tourism product that we have here in the Bahamas.
The business has been a significant investment for Bridgewater. It is part of an industry which he says he never envisioned playing a role. This successful CEO has this challenge for other Bahamians.
It's the guests that had to open my eyes to some of the beauty here in the island. I mean, we have so much to be thankful for, and actually seeing the island through their eyes has kind of opened me up. We had some guests from London, and they were staring up at the sky, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're staring up at the sky. And they said, oh, it's blue, it's beautiful. And I'm like, the sky is blue all over. And they said, no, in London apparently it's gray all of the time. And even at night, same thing. We went out to the fish fry and they're staring up at the stars, and I'm like, guys, the earth is round, different set of stars. But they said that from London they don't get the view of the night sky. There's so much light pollution and stuff, and so they're just blown away at the beauty here.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
A local businessman speaking out tonight after his 8 Mile Rock home was robbed earlier this week. Kimberly Mullings has the details.
Eugene Duncanson has lived in 8 Mile Rock for the past 60 years and has owned Motel 8 for a decade, located at the rear of his home, as well as Superior Water across the road from his home. National Insurance is his neighbor to the left. Tuesday around 5 p.m., Duncanson's house cleaner left the side door to the home open after his truck pulled up, assuming it was him before she left out the front door. Instead, it was his friend, who immediately went to see him at the motel. His wife was at the water depot when the robbery occurred.
A gentleman came to see me for whatever reason, I don't know, but he came off a bus and came and knocked on my door. Based on the video, he came and knocked on the door. He knocked and called me. Then he stepped outside and he asked the lady across the street, the security at the insurance company, if she knew who I was. She knew who I was. She said no.
The man then went inside and stood at the door facing National Insurance until the workers had left. He re-entered the home, staying there for about 45 minutes. There was a roll of coins on a table near the entrance.
And then he came outside, went outside, coming towards the motel. Then for whatever reason he stopped, turned around and came back into the house. He walked in as though he lived here. Walked right through the door and came in and stayed in for another maybe 10 minutes. Then he finally left in the same direction he came.
The bus driver said that the man had asked to be dropped to Motel 8. Duncanson says he doesn't believe the man is a thief, but rather an opportunist. He himself only realized he was robbed because he went home specifically for the rolls of coins.
When the rain would have held up and I would come inside this door, the door was open, and I had met him face to face. There were knives and different stuff in my kitchen. He just had to move his hand in almost any direction. I could have lost my life. So I thank God that I didn't come. The money, forget about it, but I'm alive.
He has this message.
You're my friend, and you've done something bad to me, and you've done something bad to yourself. I know you're not a bad person, and I don't think you would ordinarily do something like this. So, we're going to find you. We're going to find you. We have proof. I've got better footage of you, and we're going to find you. So it's better you turn yourself in, make it easy on yourself.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Now, Duncanson said the matter was reported to police. He is asking anyone with information that can assist police with their investigations to come forward. Meanwhile, an American couple finding themselves on the wrong side of the law. The two were taken into police custody after they were found in possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition. Reports say on Thursday, shortly after 8 p.m., police, acting on information, went to a home in the Fortune Bay area and arrested the American couple after they were found in possession of a 7.62 rifle with 75 rounds of ammunition and a black and chrome Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun with 21 shotgun shells. They are expected to be arraigned before the magistrate court early next week. Police are actively investigating this matter. Stay with us. There's more news after this.